In zero point 0.5 miles, turn right, then turn left. I'm just kidding. That was me. That was me, Sam. I'm just goofing around. That was for the listeners who listen in their car. Just a little prank for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, I just looked like an idiot. Actually, that wouldn't work if you're driving in the car, because why would you just, why would this podcast come on randomly? You have to. Welcome to the Cahn Solo podcast. My name is Sam. This is my terrible introduction. With me, as always, my co-host Stu. Stu has a sore throat, so he's not going to be talking much today. Today is Friday the 13th. Spooky, Jason Voorhees, and so on. I tried to record again last night, and I wasn't feeling it. I set up the camera, set up the microphone, and I spent like 45 minutes trying to get going, and it didn't happen. And I think what I realized is that my focus is trying to get going really, really fast, because like back in the Vine days, you had 6 seconds to make your joke, and now we have TikTok, which you can have a funny skit for like 2 minutes, but realistically, the shorter it is, the funnier it is, the better it is. But the reason I wanted to do this podcast is because I wanted to take my time. I wanted to have an episode be a half hour, 45 minutes. So trying to hurry up and get everything going really fast, that defeats the purpose. I might as well not be doing this. But last night, I got in my head again, and I kept looking up at the clock. I'm like, oh, you spent like 6 minutes talking. Like that's the whole point of a podcast, though. You're supposed to be talking. But I kept thinking like, oh, you're not getting into it, dude. Get into it. Do your little introduction and get into what you were going to talk about. And I kept starting over, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. Abort mission. Do it tomorrow. And so today is tomorrow, and here we are. We're doing the podcast, and we're gonna flaws and everything. We're gonna let it all hang out, right, Stu? A couple things before we start today's episode. Number one, we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is a huge deal for us. We thought we were gonna hit 100 in like a couple of months. So to do it this soon was awesome. But also, unfortunately, we don't have anything planned for this event. So we thought we were going to do something fun and special for 100 subscribers, but it happened so fast because we're so funny that we didn't have time to think of anything. So this is just episode 8. You're going to get what you're going to get. And then number 2 is we have yet another sponsor. Our old sponsor dropped us, unfortunately, but that same day I got a call from this guy, Dave, who wants to sponsor us for his awesome company. So we have a new sponsor. Hopefully we get along with this new sponsor better than the last one, and they stick around, but you know, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. So before we get into what I would say is probably the funniest thing that has ever happened to me, I want to go into why we're talking about it real quick, because it kind of happened by accident. So today's episode was originally, I wanted to talk about some TV shows that I recently watched. That's what the episode was going to be about. But let me backtrack. I have a hoarding problem, like really, really bad. I have 60,000 pictures on my phone right now. And before you're like, wow, Sam, you're a psychopath. Let me explain. Every time that I get a new phone, I've only had 3 iPhones, I think, or 4 maybe. When I get the new phone, I back up everything that I had on that phone, on the old one, onto the new one. So when I scroll back on my phone, if I go all the way to the beginning, I think like the first pictures are from 2014 or something, back when I had my, whatever that was, iPhone 4 or 5 or whatever. And it's a problem. I know it's a problem. I'm always running out of storage. I'm always having to delete like apps that I need, and just... So what I do is every morning I go into the photo album, I put in the current date, and then I go through and I figure out, okay, there's a bunch of memes that I can delete. I took like 25 pictures of fireworks or whatever. I can delete all of those. So it helps me, by doing it once a day, it helps me stay organized and it's not overwhelming. I can, like this morning, I think I had like 385 pictures from January 13th, 2022, 2021, going all the way back. So I go through all of those, delete, and just, I'm gonna eventually get there. So like I said, yesterday's episode was gonna be about the TV shows, but when I woke up and I put in the date, the modeling picture popped up, and then I was like, oh, I gotta tell the VH1 Amber Rose modeling story. By the way, if you're listening to this and you're not watching, at the roundabout, take a left. Make sure that you're going to want to see these pictures. Trust me, they go along with the story. And I'm glad that I made a YouTube channel so I can post pictures or video whenever is needed. I wanted to make this podcast as audio friendly as possible, but realistically, eventually I'm going to have to use visuals. And in this one, this is when the visuals are going to come in handy. I don't know. Do whatever you want. I'm just saying that the pictures along with the story, chef kiss. However you do it. I think that's the first time I've done that. Why would I ever do that for anything? Anyway, I have to explain how I got from me to being the model for Amber Rose on her TV show. So we got to go back. We got to go back to the beginning first. So I made a Twitter account in late 2010. I think Twitter was only a couple years old, so it was still relatively new. And I made an account, and when you sign up, it asks you if you want to follow certain people or whatever. And I think you can't go on to the next step unless you follow some people. So it had like Jim Carrey, and I think Ashton Kutcher at the time was really popular, Rosie O'Donnell, like whoever it was. And I was just click and follow. And one of them was Amber Rose, who, if you don't know who Amber Rose is, she's a model. And I don't know if I think she was a model before she met Kanye West or during, I don't know what happened, but she's a model, and she at one point was dating Kanye West, our old friend Kanye. Follow, and then I'm on Twitter. I'm tweeting whatever at the time I was saying. Hey, having a sandwich. It's so good. I love it. Yum yum. And I see Amber Rose tweeted something about stopping smoking, or she wanted to stop smoking. And I replied. I said, oh, hey, you can do it. I quit smoking 2 years ago. Good job. And she had like whatever, 200, 300,000 followers at the time. So I'm sure she didn't see it. But 10 minutes later, my phone just starts exploding. I just have all these notifications, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on here? Amber had responded to my post and followed me. Right away, I get like 700 followers. I don't know any of these people. I don't know what they're gonna expect from me. I'm a new account. Who am I? I haven't done anything. I'm like so confused. I message her. I'm like, hey, Amber Rose, it looks like you followed me. I just wanted to make sure that you knew you followed me and it wasn't an accident. And she replied, she's like, oh no, you're so sweet. I really appreciate you supporting whatever, XO smoochy face. And then that was it. I'm Amber Rose's, I'm her buddy. So then a week later, she tweets, if you live in LA, send your pictures to my assistant. She puts the assistant's email address. I'm thinking, okay, I live close to Los Angeles. I don't know what this is about, but I'll find out. So I send pictures. I'm like, hey, this is Sam. What's up? The next day, I get a response from the assistant. We're going to call her Janet. I get a email from Janet, and she says, hey, can you come out here on Wednesday for the shoot? Give me a call for more details. I call her back. I leave a voicemail. Hey, this is Sam. I'm not sure what you guys are doing, but give me a call and let me know. I still remember I was at work and I was on my lunch break. I went to Panda Express and my phone rings and it's Janet. She's like, hey, Amber wants you to come to the shoot. Can you do it? And I go, for what? And she's like, to be one of her models. And I was like, oh, ha ha ha, I'm not a model. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm not what you're looking for. And then she's like, hold on a second. And then Amber Rose gets on the phone. Now, mind you, I don't know who she is really. I just know she is with or was with Kanye West. I don't know what she sounds like or anything. I don't know if she's a singer. I know she models, but I don't know like what else she does. So I'm thinking this might be some kind of an elaborate prank, but regardless, she gets on the phone and she's like, "Hey, sweetie, I really want you to be at this shoot. Please come out. It's for my sunglasses line, and just bring a white shirt and a black shirt. We're going to take some pictures and it'll be a fun time." I was like, I am so embarrassed right now. I didn't know what you guys had planned. I just thought you needed pictures and then we're going to do like, I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know you were looking for a model. I'm not the guy. I'm really sorry that I wasted your time, but I'm not able to do this. So then she turns up the charm, which worked on me, by the way. And she's like, I went through 12,000 emails and I only picked 6 people and you were one of the 6. I really want you there. I'm like, okay, yeah, you went through 12,000 emails in a night, Amber Rose. Okay. But I figured, whatever. This will be, if anything, this will be a funny story, and I'll see where it takes me. So I was like, yeah, I'll be there. And what do you need from me? So that was Monday when I talked to her on the phone, and then Wednesday was the shoot. So Wednesday, I took the day off of work. I drove up to LA, and I get there. I get to the address, and it is a sketchy little area that I was in. I got there like a half hour before I was supposed to be there because I wanted to beat traffic. So I just kind of sat in my car, and then when the time was up, I go up to the door, and again, it looks like the area I'm not supposed to be in. Knock on the door, and this giant man opens it, and he's like, "Are you with VH1?" And I'm like, I'm the model. But yeah, he kind of looks me up and down like I'm messing with him. And I'm like, give him my name or whatever. And he sees I'm on the list, like the talent. And then he opens the door. And speaking of doors, Stu, did you know that if you want to get a new door, you can head over to doors.com and get all... By the way, this is not about the band The Doors. This is about actual doors. If you need a door, if you need to walk into something and you don't have a way to, you need to go on and get yourself a door. Head on down to Dave's Doors and you can get a door with a knob. They all have knobs. You could get a door with a circular knob, or one of the like the doctor's office that you see at the doctor's office that you kind of pull down. You can get the push door that you see at like convenience stores, where you just kind of push with your body. If you've got a bunch of groceries and you need to use your arm to push that door open, Dave's Doors got that door. They got that doors. And if you want to have hinges, you can have as many hinges as you want. You can have 2, you can have 3. Heck, have 4 hinges if you want to have 4 hinges. I'm not the boss of you. You can have 5 if you want. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And for the month of January, if you use Consolo promo code ConSoloPod, you could get 45% off every door, all the doors, and just tell them that Sam and Stu sent you, and talk to Dave. Dave is the guy. I don't know his last name, but I'm sure he has a last name. Probably Door. Dave Door. Go see Dave Door at doors.com. And that's, again, Consolopod, 45% off every door. And when one door closes, another door opens at doors.com. Anyway, I go through the door and it looks nothing like I expected it to be. I thought I was going to get true crimed, and this is before true crime was true crime. I mean, true crime has always been a thing. People have always been doing it, but this was before it was consumed as content online. I thought I was doomed because the outside it didn't match the inside at all. The inside was very, very nice. It was big, open, just everything was sleek and modern looking. It was all gray, and I didn't even feel like comfortable being in there. I felt like I didn't belong, which I didn't. So when you walk in, when you look straight ahead, there's this big open area where they do the shoots. And then right behind me by the door, there's a bunch of couches where people can like hang out, and there was a bunch of food set up. And then if you go straight like towards the shoot area and you make a right, there was a little dressing area. So when I walked in, I was just kind of standing there because like everyone was setting up and everything. And some lady was like, "Oh, who are you?" I'm like, "Sam, I guess I'm modeling sunglasses." And she was like, "Oh, go into to the makeup room. So I go in there, I sit down, and there's nobody in there. So I'm just kind of like, I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting to see what the fuck is going to happen. I'm sitting in the makeup room, and then these two women come in, and they do a quick coat or layer or foundation, whatever you call it. They did my makeup, and then they left, and I was just kind of waiting around. I'm like, what's going to happen? And then these guys come in, and they have video cameras and the sound, the boom, the fuzzy boom mics and everything. And they come in, and they're having a whole bunch of people sign these forms. And they come in and they ask me to sign a form. And it's for a VH1 TV show. I don't know who to talk to about this. I didn't know this was for a TV show. I thought I was just going to be I thought I was going to be sitting in the background, like it was going to be a beach shoot, and I'm going to have my sunglasses on. I'm going to be kind of blurry. I'm not really going to be involved, but they're like, yeah, just sign here. It's for her TV show. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, I'm here. Ooh, sign my name. Shortly after, the real models start trickling in the makeup room, and they are so good looking. And I'm just sitting there in the chair, and they're all coming in. They're really friendly, and we're all kind of talking like, oh, what agency are you with? Oh, I'm with ACE. What are you with? Oh, I'm with XYZ. Who are you with? And I'm like, oh, I'm on Twitter. I made a tweet to Amber, and then she asked me to be here. I don't model. And then I felt bad that I was embarrassed that I was there, because these people are taking their craft seriously, and I'm here. I should have lied and said I was with an agency, even though it was very clear that I wasn't a model. But whatever, I didn't know what was going to happen. So they ambushed me. VH1 ambushed me. About 30 minutes go by, and this guy comes in. I guess he's like the producer or whatever. He's like, hey guys, Amber's like 30 minutes out. She's going to be here in 30 minutes. Make sure you're all ready. Everybody good? You're all set? Any questions? And I'm like, what is this? He goes, Amber has a reality show for VH1 she's shooting. I guess this was the pilot, or I don't know how many episodes she did, but it was called Behind Her Shades. And it was a day in the life of Amber Rose doing shopping and going to do whatever she does. I don't know what she does, modeling. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. And he leaves, and the models and I are kind of talking, just shooting the shit. Finally, she gets there, and we all have to be quiet. Production goes outside, and they film her walking in like 5 times, which was it was really funny. We couldn't see her, but we could hear her keep walking in and saying the same thing over and over, like, whoa, this place is dope, or whatever the hell she said. After like a dozen takes of this, she finally comes into the makeup room, and she introduces herself to all of us, and she's like, hey, I'm Amber, how's it going? Oh, I like your hair, whatever. Oh, cool makeup and stuff. And then all of a sudden, she starts screaming at her assistant, Janet. I can't remember why she was yelling at her, but it was something really stupid. It was like, what? Janet, why are they all in white shirts? I thought we agreed we were going to start off with black shirts. Why are they in white shirts? And I was thinking like, well, Janet wasn't even here. Like, the people told us to put on whatever shirt. And Janet was like, oh my God, Amber, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. And she's like, shut up. And she was just like yelling at her. And we, like the models, we were kind of looking at each other like, what do we do? This is kind of strange. And she just was yelling at her, and Janet was like about to start crying, and then they stopped filming, and everyone was cool. Like, Janet and Amber were totally fine, smiles, everyone was happy with the shot. It was all scripted. Now, I understand how reality shows work. I know so much of it is scripted. Very rarely is anything real. They shoot something, they like it, and they're like, hey, let's do this again so that you're more bad or whatever. And that's what they work with, and it works, because who wants to see people who just wants to see people acting normal? They don't want that. They want fights, they want weird shit happening, and they want drama. And with this show, they were gonna get it, because Amber was definitely, I thought it was real. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, this is no bueno. I don't like this. After she's done yelling at Janet, she comes over and she introduces herself to all of us. She's really, really sweet, really nice, beautiful smile, just a beautiful woman. And she's like, as she introduces herself to me last, and she's like, okay, Sam, are you ready to get started? I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Now it's showtime. And the cameras are rolling. Amber leads me out of the room. And I guess while we were in the makeup room, the crew had set up this big table with like 500 sunglasses. We go out, and there's this short guy in an undershirt, hairy chest. He's got these glasses on. He's got all these chains, and he's just like, yo, what's up, man? How's it going? I'm, Sean or whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm Sam. How's it going? He's like, yo, so what are we doing today? We're standing there, and Amber's like, what do you think would be good on his face? And the guy's like, yeah, I think he'd look good in like the big pimp glasses. Yeah, like the 70s pimp. Like, what do you think, pimp? And I'm like, yeah, all right, We'll try whatever, I guess. So she's having me try on all these glasses, and the guy was really awkward. Like, he didn't know how to fill the air, so he just kind of kept asking me like, what's up, man? What's up with you? I'm like, yeah, still pretty good. What's up, man? So what's up? What's your deal? Oh, I'm just trying on glasses today. It looks like that's what we're currently doing. We're here in the present right now. You don't have to keep asking me, what's up, dog? Like, I'm still here, dog. I'm here. No, but she asked like, oh, Sam, what do you do? And I was like, yeah, I work at a elementary school. I work with special needs kids. And, well, that's dope, man. You're like, yeah, we need that. Like, that's dope, man. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty dope. And so we're trying on all these sunglasses and regular glasses. And the guy, he keeps talking about how expensive they are. He's like, oh yeah, those are $400. Those are $6,000, man. Those are $6,000 glasses that you're holding. I'm like, I don't know how to respond, because like I'm not impressed. Like, I'm not actually impressed. So I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of cash money for this. Like, that kind of shit doesn't impress me at all. Like, that don't impress me much. Oh, so you're Pikachu. It doesn't, like, if somebody tells me something is like, oh, this is a $5,000 bottle of wine, I'm like, okay, cool. That's awesome. Cool. The glasses are $6,000. They look like glasses to me. They're doing glasses stuff. Cool. So if anything, this guy telling me that just made me nervous having them on my face, because I'm like, what if they fall? What happens? Who is responsible for this? Because Amber is the one that's kind of like putting them on me. So once they're on me, I'm like, all right, they're secure, but you don't know. What if Butterfingers and oops, boom, I'm not paying for that. So they're having me try on all these sunglasses and glasses, and the guy he won't give it up that I look like a pimp and all this. Yo, he looks like a cocaine dealer. And he's like, hold on. And so the glasses are actually, they're in briefcases. So he closes one of them, and then he has me hold the briefcase of sunglasses, and he's like, yo, you look like a cocaine dealer. And I'm like, only on the weekends. That's what I joked. I said, only on the weekends. I work with children, and I said this. Right away, I start freaking out. I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be on TV, and one of the students is going to see it. Some kid from the school is going to see it, and Mr. Sam's on TV, and he's joking around about dealing cocaine on the weekends, and I like break character. I'm like, oh, can you guys like edit that out? Cause like, I don't want to get in trouble. And they're laughing. They think I'm joking, which I'm not at all. I'd rather that they don't do that. But yeah, they're all laughing, the crew included. I'm like, not funny. Let's not use that. Okay, guys, please. Yes. And then at the time, I didn't know what was happening, but since then, and I understand how like reality shows work and like what B footage is, they had me go over to where the shoot is. Like, they had me sit on a stool. There was a big screen behind me, and they shot Amber and the guy. They shot footage of them just kind of standing there staring straight ahead, like not talking, just expressionless. And at the time I was like, what are they doing? But now I think what was happening was they were shooting reaction shots for what I said about the cocaine thing. I don't think they were going to have the shot of them laughing. I think they were going to use the shot of them staring straight ahead to make me look like a bumbling idiot. A lot of reality shows will do that. They'll have somebody say something funny or crazy and an actual reaction will happen, but then they'll reshoot the people's reaction as them doing something else so they can see which reaction fits better. So when I said, oh, only on the weekends, they probably were going to use the reaction of them just... and then add like, you know, like when Larry David does something stupid on Curb Your Enthusiasm and it's like, like they were going to use, I know they were going to use like a tuba of me. Everything that I said, every like joke that I said, I know they were going to edit in like just this tuba. So that's what I think. I think every clip of me, they were planning on me being like the comic relief, but I wasn't going to be funny. Like all my jokes were going to fall on their face and just add the tuba sound and make Sam look like, you know, he's a goofball, but yeah, we love him. So I'm sitting on the chair and there's two photographers and then there's all the VH1 people that are still filming Amber, and then they all of a sudden they're done filming her and they like swarm over to me. So now there's like 15 people just surrounding me and they have the lights on and I'm like, I feel like I'm all sweaty. I'm having a panic attack already. And then Amber comes over and she's like, all right, yeah, let's put these glasses on. All right, yeah, Sam, do this, like growl at me and like do this and da-da-da. And I'm like, okay. So I'm doing all this shit and like, I'm trying to get into it, but like, I can't. I'm very distracted because when I'm looking straight ahead, I can see the front door and there's a bunch of people that are now coming inside and they're setting up like balloons and like there's more food and they're all in suits and like dressed really nice. And I'm like, what is happening? And Amber's like, yeah, Sam, do this, look at me. Oh man, do this, put your head down, da 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 da. And like, I'm so overstimulated right now. And then Amber reaches in her bag and she pulls out a cigarette and she wants me to have the cigarette in my mouth and like pose with it. And she's like, gives it to me. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And I put it in my mouth. And then she's like, wait. Is that going to be a problem? Like, is that cool? Are you going to freak out? And I'm like, what? And she's like, you quit smoking cigarettes, right? Like, is this hard for you? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to light it. Right. And she's like, I'm trying to quit cigarettes too. Like, it's been really hard. I'm like, yeah, it's a hard thing to quit. Like, good job, Amber Rose, you're doing a good job. And she's like, I could tell she was trying to get me to like be dramatic, like have it be like oh my God, I think it's coming back. I think I want to smoke cigarettes again. But like, I was cool with it. I was like, yeah, sure. It's a prop. Like I'll have it hanging out of my mouth for a second. Sure. Cool. The photographers, there was like 500 pictures, like it was nonstop. And I didn't know which one to look at. There was the one here and the one there. And then the cameras are in the back. And I'm like, it was, like I said, it was so bright. I couldn't focus. And then there was music that was starting to play. There was like a DJ up in the second story that was like starting to play music. I was like, wow, there's a lot happening here right now. And before I know it, it's over. I'm off the stool and I'm back in the makeup room. And then Amber sits on the stool and she does her own shoot really quick. And they have the models come out and they're like posing with Amber, but I'm not allowed back. I'm done. So Amber is with these models and they're like, she gets up and she's like kissing them on the cheek and they're like, they knew what they were doing. Like they were professionals. It looked like a shoot. There was a shoot happening. And at the time I didn't feel bad. I felt like I was just a little confused. I was like, why am I not with all of them? Maybe they weren't going to use me? Like, why was I by myself? And it was something that I was a little confused about it. But yeah, while I was sitting there, a bunch of people came in and they all started like dancing like by the door and just like hanging out. It was this big party out of nowhere. Like there was no warning. It was like just this swarm of party happening. It was like a movie. So then the weirdest moment of this entire situation, I was sitting in the makeup room, like in the doorway, And the director goes up to Amber and he's kind of talking to her and he's like pointing upstairs and she's like nodding and she's like, yeah, I like that idea. And so the director goes upstairs and I guess he's like talking to the DJ, and Amber goes out to like the little dance area where everyone's like dancing, and the film crew goes over to where Amber is and she has her assistant over there and they got the booms all set up, and the DJ starts playing a Kanye West song for like maybe 10-15 seconds, and Amber all of a sudden catches it and she starts yelling. She's like, yo, stop the music. Everyone gets quiet and she's like, who's playing that song? What dumbass is playing that song? And the director, you can hear the director up there. He's like, oh, it was me, Amber. I'm sorry. I forgot. And she's like, you know that song is about me. You know that song is about me. And she starts like getting all emotional. And I see the assistant, I see Janet, I see her like kind of putting her arm around her, and Amber's getting all upset, and like the friends are there and they're like, oh, it's okay. And the director's like, oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. I wasn't thinking. I forgot that song was about you, Amber. It was just so corny. And then cut. Everybody's fine. Director runs downstairs. He's hugging Amber. They're like high-fiving. Oh, great job. What a great scene. And then everyone's dancing again. Everyone's just having a good time. The photographers are all putting their stuff away, and I'm like, okay, well, it's like noon. Are we done? So I kind of go towards the front and I sit on the couch. I'm just like watching everybody dancing. And then Amber walks over and she sits next to me. I asked her if I was done, if they needed me for anything else. She's like, no, you're good. You can go if you want, or you can stick around and hang out. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm probably going to head back before, traffic. And she's like, yeah, well, thanks again for coming. And it was really nice meeting you. And we talked for a little bit. She was really, really sweet. And she was so down to earth that I forgot who I was talking to. And like I said, I didn't really know, I knew she was really famous and really big, but I wasn't like starstruck by her. I was just like, wow, she's a really attractive woman, and I'm glad that she was really nice. It would have been a real bummer if she sucked, but yeah, she was so nice. And then I asked her if she wanted to go with me to get In-N-Out, because I was craving In-N-Out, and like I said, she was so down to earth. It just happened. I was like, well, I'm gonna take off. I think I'm gonna go to In-N-Out. You want to go to In-N-Out with me? And I think she thought I was joking, and she was like, oh, you're so funny. And I was like, yeah, all right, well, see you later. Thanks for having me. And she was like, yeah, we'll keep you updated. We're gonna email the pictures if you want to see those, and take care. So if you're watching, I sprinkled a couple of the pictures there, but here's some more they're kind of, it was a professional shoot. So of course it looks good, but I feel like because I was wearing a hat over there, that's why my hair looks like it does. I kind of have this little swoopy thing on both sides. And then this was when I was starting to lose my hair, so it didn't look good. I mean, the makeup could have done better. I don't think they actually touched my hair. I think they just messed with my face. I don't see the cocaine dealer. Okay, I guess a little bit. The yellow ones, I can get that. But anyone's going to look like that if they have those glasses on. The ones that are without the lens, I think I look like the old guy from Ocean's 11 a little bit. These glasses really age you, though. I was only 24 here, and I look like a family member from The Godfather. But they did a good job with me. I don't look like a professional model, but some of these pictures came out pretty good. I think Andy Warhol would like me. I think I could have, hung out with them. I wouldn't want to, but I could have. So as far as the show went, it didn't get picked up, thank God. You can Google it, though. If you look up Amber Rose Behind Her Shades VH1, it'll show that it was going to maybe be a thing. And like I said, this was early 2011, and it never happened. And I'm grateful that it didn't. That's a little selfish to say. I wish Amber success. She has success, but I wish that got picked up for her, and maybe they just erased me from it. But I signed the papers. I should have I should have known. I mean, but I didn't. I didn't know what was happening. It was a hell of a 3 days, and it was a fun story in the end. I will say this: it definitely gave me a new appreciation for reality shows and what, like when I watch and I see someone like a bad character. I know they're not bad. They're doing an act because you always need someone to be the bad guy or the goofball or whatever they need for the drama or to be funny or whatever it may be. They're looking for people that are going to stand out because, like my mom, I think she still watches The Bachelorette, but she used to a lot. And every character, they wanted to outshine the other one because they knew that they could have like a spin-off, or if whatever their job was, if they were like, a lawyer, it could help with their lawyering. And there's a lot of people that find success because they outact everybody else on the show, and then they get their own spin-off and they find success that way. There's so many people on those reality shows that act so crazy and they get kicked off the show, and then producers are like, wow, they brought in a lot of ratings, let's give them their own show. And then boom, they're doing better than the people still on the original show. And so looking back on this, when I really think about it, I realized like, okay, yeah, I was probably there. She probably found me and was like, let's have, Joe Average come on and like, let's see how he would do with the professional models or whatever, and see how he would do, being shot. So like I said, it never got picked up, but when I think about it, I imagine Amber and the guy were probably like, oh yeah, well, we can have people like models do it, but then we should have like someone like just a regular guy. And then she was like, hold on, I got this idea. Let's get Sam on here. And then insert tuba music, and it's clips of me like bending down and tying my shoes, and they like, and it's like, that's me. I'm the guy. I'm the guy who, I'm the clueless guy. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying my best. Anyway, that's the story of how I modeled for Amber Rose. I did it for free, by the way. They didn't even pay me. I didn't think to ask if it was a paid gig, but clearly it wasn't, or they would have given me money. But yeah, did that out of the kindness of my heart. And you know what? I wonder if I could like add that to a model resume or something. Because that's something to brag about. Like, I modeled for Amber Rose. Like, I'm pretty sure she's known, like, internationally now. Like, she's gotten bigger since 2011. But yeah, that was it. It's 10 o'clock. I need to get editing on this because I want this out by tomorrow. Thank you again to Dave at Dave's Doors. Remember, go on to davedoors.com and get whatever. I'm done. This was a stupid bit. I'm done. I need to shut up. The battery's dying anyway. Stu, did you have anything to add? I know your throat is still sore, so you shouldn't be talking much, but did you have anything you want to add? Wow, we don't use that language on here. Anyway, text your mom this weekend. Just check in, say hi, see how she's doing. And if you go to the store and you use a cart, put it back in the cart return. It's one of the easiest things that you can do. It's not that big of a deal. And we love you. We'll see you next week. At the roundabout, make a left.